and some freezing temps to the north. Impact Radio, 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNC. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hello, everybody, and thanks yet again for staying tuned in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. We were just talking with Rupert Megnott, who is the Chief Executive Officer over at Burnout Game Ventures. Learn more about him over at burnoutgameventures.com. And you can learn more about myself and my show over at my website, tampabayradio.com. And connect with me over at all my social networking sites, Twitter, which is Jamie_Maloney, and Facebook.com/That Business Show. I want to go ahead and bring on expert contributor Malcolm Tennant, who is the Chief Operating Officer over at Access Reverse, and his company has overseen the funding of over 1,000 reverse mortgages. Malcolm, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Jamie. It's good to be here.
Thank you very much. I know there's been a lot of changes going on in the reverse mortgage market. You just told me about some news this morning. So let's talk a little bit about that to open up.
Yeah, I think, as you know, I've always been passionate about getting the word out on reverse mortgages. This is a wonderful program that's often maligned in the press. And so the big thing that's coming, what I've seen in the last 10 years I've been in the business is a real changing face of the industry. Traditionally, we were kind of a rescue tool for seniors, people 62 and over, which is not that old these days. But what we've seen in recent years is more of a shift to using reverse mortgages as a financial planning tool. And we've actually got several $1 million plus homes in process right now for reverse mortgages, where in some cases we're paying off existing mortgages, and others they're doing it strictly to set up an emergency line of credit, just to have it there. So that's kind of the new face of reverse mortgages. But the traditional face as a rescue tool, where for example, we recently had a woman called us. Her home was scheduled to go to sale and foreclosure in 8 days. We actually got a reverse mortgage processed and done, paid off her existing mortgage, and stopped the foreclosure. Gave her the right to stay in her house the rest of her life. And so that's how things have been in the past. There's new rules coming in. They were scheduled to come in March 2nd, which is we're getting really up against the deadline.
Just a couple weeks. Yep.
On that, FHA came out with new rules. They call it financial assessment. Well, we just got notification last night at after 5 o'clock last night that they've extended the implementation 30 to 60 days because of software issues. So that's a good thing. It gives some breathing room here for people. But
what were some of the changes that were, that are on the table for that change? And I mean, you say this was good news. Why is it good news? What was going to happen on March 2nd that would have, negatively impacted the business?
For the kind of more traditional rescue type situation, where you've got somebody that might be in foreclosure, or you've got somebody that has overextended. They've tried to stay in a financial situation that wasn't viable, and maybe got behind on their property taxes, homeowners insurance, or had late payments on credit cards, that sort of thing. Those people are going to be under dramatically increased scrutiny now. We're going to have to prove ability, so document income, and a willingness to pay ongoing obligations, which include property taxes, homeowners insurance, and any other debt they might have. So what we're going to see is there's going to be a significant number of people who could really use a reverse mortgage are going to be excluded after, it was March 2nd. Now we've got some breathing room there. So we do have the ability still to get people grandfathered in. It's not going to affect the $1 million homeowner with good credit and all that. But it is going to be pretty devastating to some people.
Yeah, and let's work a little bit to dispel some of the common myths with reverse mortgages that plague your industry so much. Let's elaborate on that, if you would.
Sure. The big thing people often believe is that in some way they're giving up ownership when they get a reverse mortgage, where, as we know, the reverse mortgage is just like any other mortgage. It's you're strictly borrowing money, so you get some money, however much it might be, a little or a lot. You get a statement in the mail each month, tells you how much you owe, how much interest was charged the month before. The first big difference with the reverse mortgage is that when you get that statement, you don't have to make any payment. So, but other than that, it's the same as a traditional mortgage. You get your statement the next month, you owe a little bit more because they've added the interest from last month to your balance. So that's the first big myth, I think, that in no way are you giving up ownership of the home. Under any kind of normal economic conditions, there's going to be a lot of equity remaining in the house from the day you get the reverse mortgage throughout your life if you choose to spend your life there.
Yeah, we had seen an article just a couple months back where it was like front page news. Somebody had lost their home through a reverse mortgage. But if you had read the article, the content of the article did not support the headline. I mean, they went into there to explain why they lost the home. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, it was last June. It was a full front page feature in the Tampa Bay Times. Headline was "The Fix That Failed." A woman in Gulfport had a reverse mortgage since 2007. She, for one reason or another, they quit paying their homeowners insurance in 2009. So they went 5 years without paying homeowners insurance, and the lender at that point had no choice, like any lender under any kind of mortgage, would have no choice except to start a foreclosure proceeding. But the reverse mortgage itself had nothing to do with the foreclosure. It's just coincidental that they had a reverse mortgage versus a traditional mortgage.
Now, who are candidates for reverse mortgages?
So one spouse has to be 62 or over. You can have one over, one under.
Okay.
But other than that, pretty much everybody, the National Journal of Financial Planners now advocates that everybody, as they approach retirement age, which whatever that might be, as part of their overall financial planning, look at the possibility of getting a reverse mortgage to either pay off an existing mortgage, supplement their income with there's a monthly income stream you can get for life as long as you live in your home, or just as a standby line of credit instead of relying on credit cards. So this is becoming a very mainstream product. It's just a fact that baby boomers as a generation don't have enough money to retire on to maintain the lifestyle we have. So most of what we do have is tied up in real estate. So I look at it, it's like you've got your 401k or your IRA you can dip into for money in retirement, and you've got your house you can dip into. You can pull equity out of there in much the same way.
Now, tell me a little bit more about the history of your company, Access Reverse Mortgage. I mean, you've been around for many years, and you're also very involved in the community. Tell me a little bit more about the family business here.
Sure. We are a family business. We're based in St. Petersburg on Tyrone Boulevard. That's our main offices for the state of Florida. We have reps around the state, but the people that work at the home office are primarily my family. We have my wife and my two sons. We have been in the same location for 10 years. The reverse mortgages are all we do, which makes us unique. Being based in the state of Florida and the fact we only do reverse mortgages makes us really unique in the industry, and the fact we've been around 10 years. A lot of our industry is based on the telephone call center, overnighting document kind of business model. We don't do that. We meet in person with every client, usually in their home. I handle everything in this area. We have reps around the state as well who would handle people in other cities. But the process is confusing. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of documentation. I think it's around 40 signatures in the application. And to send that out to somebody and ask them to understand it on their own is difficult. So,
yeah, and there's a lot of, like we were talking earlier, a lot of myths, a lot of kind of, fear that goes into it, and the fact that you come to people's homes and talk to them. I mean that's definitely a huge selling point for yourself and your company.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are looking for that.
Now, you're also very involved in the community, and you were just talking with me about being named as part of the Alzheimer Association's Gulf Coast chapter. Tell me a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I've just been appointed to the board of it's called Walk to End Alzheimer's, and it's a series of fundraising walks. It's our primary fundraising mechanism. There'll be 10 different walks in the 13-county Bay Area starting in the fall, and we're, as part of that board, I'm looking for sponsors and walkers. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, I can connect them with the right opportunities and show them the path, how to sign up if somebody wants to have a walking team. It's not a real strenuous walk. It's only a 5K, and it is a walk. But it's such a subject that's so close to my heart. My mother had Alzheimer's and my father-in-law, and it's everybody knows somebody who's been touched by it. And I think it's the most devastating disease out there. It's because of the length of time for care and what it does to a family is just tremendous.
Now, other people within the organization are carrying some very unique designations also. Tell me a little bit more about the strength of the people that work in your company.
Yeah, thank you. The National Reverse Mortgage Lenders Association has a designation. It's very difficult to earn. There's a lot of criteria. It's called a Certified Reverse Mortgage Professional, CRMP. And there's only 95 CRMPs in the entire country. There's only 9 in the state of Florida, and 3 of the CRMPs out of the 9 in the state of Florida are with our company. I'm one of them. Recently earned that designation, and it is something to look for if you want. Our industry is really got a problem with. No offense to the forward mortgage industry, but this is a very different product, and we have hundreds of forward mortgage companies that write 1 or 2 reverse mortgage a year. Statistically, that's a fact. And you're just asking for trouble getting involved in a situation like that. There's just so many rules and pitfalls that our closing rate on our reverse mortgages is over 80%.
Wow, very good.
The industry closing rate is only 53%. So the CRMP designation is a way that you can tell if somebody's really serious about this business.
Well, absolutely. I mean, 80% closing. I know I talked with a lot of professional mortgage professionals and asked them if they do reverse mortgages, and some say they do, but they really don't understand the intricacies of the reverse mortgage, and most of them shy away from it. And they recommend people such as yourselves. But do you see a lot of traditional mortgage people in banking trying to do these, or do you see that most of them try to shy away from it?
We get a lot of referrals from other mortgage companies, but there certainly are a number out there that decide to throw it on the last line in their ad. We do reverse mortgages. You'll hear that tag on a lot of mortgage company advertising now, and it's obviously, I'm biased, but in my opinion, it's a very bad way to go. And
you made the business decision to strictly specialize in reverse mortgages. You don't do any traditional lending. So, I mean, you obviously know the business inside and out. So that's definitely a selling point for yourself and Access Reverse Mortgage. And so I got to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, we're going to be talking a little bit more with Malcolm Tennant, Chief Operating Officer over at Access Reverse Mortgage. And if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
iMortgage Tampa appreciates and supports all veterans and their families. And as a thank you for your service, they have some unique products specifically for veterans. These programs include 100% cash-out loans, renovation loans, and also a VA interest rate reduction loan. Please call them today at 813-523-4908. Again, that's 813-523-4908. Or online, search for iMortgage Tampa. iMortgage NMLS 174457. Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. Programs and eligibility subject to programs and guidelines.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING.
In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours. Cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
Looking for a way to increase your business? Ever thought about advertising on radio? iHeartMedia can customize a campaign to meet your specific needs. Call 844-BUY-RADIO. That's 844-BUY-RADIO. Or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center, we are bumper to bumper on 275 southbound from Fletcher into Sly because of a crash near Sly that has the right lane blocked. Heavy delays also on 275 southbound from I-4 to Ashley because of a disabled vehicle that has the left lane blocked. Because of an overnight crash, alternate 19 still closed in both directions just south of Curlew. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Udall Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Don't let the sun fool you today. It's going to be chilly with a high of only 57 tonight. Clear and cold with a low of 39. There is a freeze watch for our northern counties. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high of 60.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hello, everybody, and thanks again for staying tuned in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Learn more about my show over at TampaBayRadio.com and connect with me on all the social networking sites, Twitter, Jamie_Maloney, and Facebook.com/That Business Show. Currently talking with Malcolm Tennant, Chief Operating Officer of Access Reverse Mortgage. And Malcolm, we were talking off air a little bit about a new study that Boston College has put out from their Center for Retirement Planning about retirement options for seniors. So let's elaborate on this a little bit more.
Yeah, I mentioned we see a lot of misinformation in the press, and this Boston College study is really excellent. It's completely accurate, and it talks not just about reverse mortgages, but other options, downsizing, in retirement. So we bought up a pretty good quantity of them and have been giving them away to people who are investigating reverse mortgages. We have the ability to mail out a hard copy or email a link to the study. And anybody who's remotely interested in reverse mortgages, this will give you the straight facts. So just encourage anybody to contact me or through your website or directly. And we'd be happy to mail out a booklet to them.
Oh, very good. Now, let's talk a little bit about, we see, celebrity advertising on the televisions with reverse mortgages. Why should, a person considering a reverse mortgage contact you versus the celebrities? Talk to me a little bit about where the money's coming from for some of these celebrity advertising companies.
Sure. I mean, the Fred Thompson's a big one. Everybody's seen that ad. That company is the biggest in the industry, but they're spending a tremendous amount of money on these national TV ads, and we don't do that. And as a result, our costs are truly lower, which allows us to come across with lower closing costs and still maintain our profit margins. So we do have a real advantage in cost there. But bigger than that, most of these companies are going to deal with you from a call center in California or Michigan or New York. And you're dealing with a very friendly, expert representative. We all are in this industry, or we don't make it. But once the app, and then they'll overnight a 40 signature application to you. So assuming you get through that and FedEx it back to them, now you call your loan officer with a question. Well, I can't actually access your file anymore. Let me look in the computer. But they can't talk to the underwriter, the processor. They don't really know what's going on with your file. So with us, we come to your home. We take your application. We take it back to our main office in St. Petersburg, and our processing department there processes the loan. So when there's issues come up during processing, and they do, there's lots of things come up. We typically deal with them ourselves. But when the borrower has to get involved, you're not calling into a call center, next available operator. You're calling us. We answer the phone live. We always answer the phone live there. We're available evenings and weekends, even if somebody has an issue come up. We find sometimes family members will express concerns, and we like to be available for that. But it comes down to, you say, where does the money come from? It's interesting that it doesn't matter where you get your reverse mortgage. The money comes from the same place. All reverse mortgages are written and processed and underwritten, and then there's a closing. A notary comes to the house typically for that, then within 30 days of closing, the loan's going to be insured by FHA, and they insure the investor and to the borrower that when the day comes to sell the house, when the borrower decides to move or when they pass and their heirs are selling it, when the day comes to sell, if there's more owing than the house is worth, FHA steps in and pays the difference. There's no downside there for the borrower. But then after it's insured by FHA, the loan's going to be sold through Ginnie Mae. All reverse mortgages are sold as reverse mortgage-backed securities to big investors, pension funds, and insurance companies. So it doesn't matter who you get your loan from, that's where it's going to end up. So you want to just get the best deal you can with the best level of expertise and customer service.
Now, your company, going back to customer service, I mean, your company is a recipient of 3 national awards for customer service. Tell me a little bit more about these.
Yeah, we've had on 3 different years out of the 10 we've been in business, we've won first place nationwide in lender awards for our level of customer service, and we're very proud of that. Our structure allows us to give better service, and we hope to think we're friendly people too.
Well, you're definitely very involved in the community and an excellent resource. For myself, with questions with reverse mortgages and everything. I tell you, I've learned a lot. I specialize in bank-owned property sales, and I don't deal with the senior market and reverse mortgages. That's your side, but you're an excellent resource for information and very professional, and you come highly recommended here by that business show. But let's talk a little bit more about the costs associated with reverse mortgages. What are the fees that people should expect to pay, when settling on a mortgage?
Okay, so typically, traditionally the fees on a reverse mortgage have been about 5% of appraised value. Now, you don't pay those, but you owe them. They become part of the cost. Recently, what we've found with interest rates so low, reverse mortgages are very popular with investors. The investors who buy these things, they have the FHA guarantee on the end value for one thing, but there's not many options for investors right now to get a decent return. So they're buying these things up in their big $6 million packages. But when they buy them, they're willing to pay a premium right now. So what we do is we take that premium and use that to subsidize closing costs. So we can, especially on higher value homes, recently we've done a number of loans with no closing costs where we're able to pay them all out of that premium. So the conditions are optimal right now. It's a great time to get a reverse mortgage. There is a concern down the road at some point. Interest rates have been where they are right now for about the last 6 years. But at some point, we expect we're going to see an increase. And as rates go up, it impacts the FHA formula to determine how much you can borrow. So conditions truly are optimal right now with combination of low closing costs or zero closing costs. We can sometimes do. It's not there are no closing costs, it's just we're paying them. And maximum proceeds for every borrower right now.
What's the time frame to get a reverse mortgage, done and closed?
From the time we get the application signed, and then every borrower is required to do a telephone counseling session with a trained reverse mortgage counselor, just to make sure that they understand the program and that I'm giving good information too. So from the time the counseling's done and the application's signed, typically it's a week to get the appraisal. Then we know what the real numbers are. And then 2 weeks after that, we should be ready to schedule a closing. Then even after closing, there's a 3-day rescission period where the borrower can change their mind. So figure a month when everything's smooth. Sometimes they go longer if we run into title issues and that sort of thing, but a month is typical timing.
And we've got about a minute left, but you also can use reverse mortgages for purchase, too. In brief, hit that point real quick.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people aren't aware of. We did the first one in the country. Our co-founder, when he retired, bought a house in Bardmore Golf Course area in Pinellas County. And the way it works is just like any other mortgage. You go in, you have to put a bigger down payment because we can only get between 50 and 70% of value with a reverse mortgage. So let's say you're buying a $100,000 home for round numbers. You come in with a down payment of $30,000 to $50,000, and the reverse mortgage pays for the rest, just like a traditional mortgage would. Now you've got a house to live in the rest of your life if you choose, with no mortgage payment.
Well, and there's a lot more information to that, and you can reach out to Malcolm to learn more about this. Real quick, about 30 seconds left. Malcolm, how can people get in touch with you to learn more about this stuff?
Sure. Let me mention, you do still have to pay your property taxes and homeowner's insurance and maintain the house. The phone number in Pinellas is 727-347-0305. 727-347-0305. AccessReverseMortgage.com is another way, or 800-806-7126.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. Great information as always, and you can also catch his information over at my website, CampaBayRadio.com. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will catch you all back in here Monday at 8 a.m. Have a great weekend, everybody.